This video will have spoilers for Undead Unluck chapter 208. If you're not caught up, come back later when you have. Okay, so this was a very peaceful chapter. Not a whole lot was going on until the end, but it's been a lot more calm and peaceful than what we've had for a minute now. When was the last time we had a calm chapter like this? I think the last calm and peaceful chapter we had was probably Julia's introduction. Either that or Engine's cooking. Either way, it's been nice to finally have a calm chapter. But before we get into that, let's get into the recap of what happened in this chapter. So we cut over to Julia, Fuko, and Sean walking through Tokyo, Japan, as Fuko's apologizing to Sean about taking away his seat and explaining what happened, why she had to do it, and that he will get his seat back. But after a bit of talk and explain to Sean that they're there so Fuko can meet her mother, he agrees to. He cheers back up and they go over to a cafe where Kaede works, and we get to meet her in the flesh for the first time. And needless to say, she is just an older Fuko. She's a bit of a klutz and a bit reckless, and she also really looks like Fuko. We get to meet her and it's a very sweet, and we also get to see Fuko's dad as well, who I don't believe has a name yet, unless I missed it. But after that, we get to learn from Kaede that she isn't actually going to be able to take part in the festival anymore due to her band all either being injured or fallen ill in very unlucky ways. And because of that, Fuko seemingly starts to get Marty McFly Back to the Future fades away, to which she just goes, okay, fuck, call some new members, everyone, fuck your missions, let's make a band for my mum's idol festival. And that's where the chapter ends off. So before we get into the chapter, a little funny thing I want to notice. It is the 2nd of June. We are 2 days into Pride Month. This is the first chapter of Undead Unluck to come out in Pride Month, and it is a first chapter of a bunch of the Undead Unluck men just topless in a boy band, and two of the union members first for them, and Fuko just beating Fuko. It is Pride Month. Tasuka knows that, and that's just funny to me. But as for the chapter itself, we had one big plot revelation, but as for the chapter itself, it wasn't anything massive or extravagant. Like I said, it was a nice, calm chapter, which we've been needing, because all of the chapters we've had for like months now have been just condensed, packed shit. But this was still a really good chapter. First of all, the first page with Julia taking a picture of the sky tree and asking Fuko, have you really been on top of there? Calling back to the spring arc. Oh, that's adorable. I love it. And I'm still on the grasp that we have a chance of the Fuko Uma Spring reunion in this loop. Tasuka, give it to me, please. But the first talking point I want to get on for this chapter is Sean. I loved Sean this chapter. If you're part of the Undead Unluck Discord server, I used to be quite active, but if you're around there back when I was active, you remember I had an ongoing gag of me just dogging on Sean, and it's just that, a gag. In actuality, Sean is a very enjoyable character. I do like him a lot, and this chapter shows why. Yes, he can be a bit of a, comedic, boyish boy, just like, oh, cute girls and whatnot, and it's, honestly, it's not egregious. He's not being that lewd, yucky kind of Mineta Master Roshi character. He's just a guy. He's just a guy that likes gals. And to be fair, it's done in a non-egregious way. But we get a lot of the moments of him just being down to earth and very real. We got a little bit of it during the Negator War. However, the first big instance of it was during Chikara's recruitment, where he sat down and spoke to Chikara, like person to person, and it was a really solid, great moment. We've had little bits here and there again, like with Phil and some other times. However, we've not had a proper big moment like that since Phil. And again here, I really like Sean. He's just so down to earth. He hears that Fuko has a chance to meet her mother again, and he doesn't make a big deal out of it. No, she's second guessing whether or not she can meet her mother. She doesn't want to interact with her. She just wants to see her and use Sean's unseen to be able to see her without interacting with her. But Sean's like, I bet, let's go. And he takes her into there, and as soon as they get in the cafe, she's again scared about it. She's like, I'm not prepared, I don't want to. And what Sean says here You gotta meet who you want to meet and talk to who you want to talk to while you have the chance. After all, when it comes to people, you'll never know when will be the last time you get to see them. I love that from Sean. He's very much like taking Nico's side here, just like, you've got the chance to see your mother. So I'm not letting you pussyfoot out of it. You are seeing your mother and you are talking to her. I loved that from Sean here. He done so good, and he's a straight man, surprisingly enough. Like, yeah, he's got a bit of comedic stuff with like how he interacts with crushing on girls and being a bit of a ladies man, but like he is still a straight man for Fuko, same way that Nico is, but like in a different role. And I really like that from Sean. He's just a down to earth. He's just a down to earth guy, and I really like that from him. And I love these moments. And he never crosses that border of being annoying or creepy when it comes to like him crushing on women. Sean is such a great character. He's never the spotlight or anything, and that's quite literally what his role is, and he fills that role amazingly. And I'm going to use this as a transition over to speaking to Kaede, but before I speak about her, I want to talk about page 7 real quick, and a little thing called paneling and page structure. This chapter doesn't have anything extravagant in terms of page structure. It's a fairly standard for Tezuka, which is good page structuring, and he has a 2-page panel in the end because Tezuka just makes sure every fucking chapter, apart from like 7 or 8, don't have 2-page panels because he's a fucking mad cunt. I want to talk about the page layout of page 7 because Tezuka's a bastard man. He is a bastard man, and I do not fucking trust him. And this made me realize that he did something similar in chapter 207 as well. On page 7, it's this panel where we see Kaede in person for the first time, and it's the text box and what the text box says in it. You never know when or where will be the last time you see them. Having that text box said by Sean, that specific piece of text on that page, on that specific panel where we see Kaede in person for the first time, it could be a red herring. It could be a red herring, but that feels like death flags. That feels like a big fucking death flag, okay? Because that it's not just, oh, that's how the sentence laid out. It had that's how the sentence ended because of the length of the sentence. It had to be in this panel. No, you can rewrite the sentence to be smaller. There's enough space on the other page to put that text box, but it's very clearly, purposefully laid out so that text is on that page in that panel with that character. Tezuka, you're a bastard, man. You're a bastard, man. I said that I was expecting some form of depression to come from this arc, and I swear to God, if Fuko loses her mother again, it's on site. And the reason I mentioned chapter 207 is the final page of that chapter when Fuko's holding the flyer up for the Idol Festival, and it's Nico's text box. Get out there. This is your chance to meet your parents one more time. Meet your parents one more time. Mixed with this, you never know when will be the last time to see them. There's death flags. There's death flags on Fuko's mother, and I'm not pleased with this. I don't like this in the slightest, Tezuka. It could be a red herring. However, Gege Akutomi has made me have trust issues. I'm hating it. I'm hating it because it's staring me in the face of any time people have mentioned that this is one more time or last time for Fuko to be able to meet her parents. Fuko's mum is always on the page. Moving on, let's actually talk about the main star herself, Kaede, Fuko's mother. I am so confused by this woman. I don't know if this is just me overthinking things, but her klutziness and her falling down and spilling shit ever so perfectly to always be hitting people, even when Fuko's dad fucking Ultra Instinct dodges it and still gets hit. I think she might be a negator. I think she might be a negator, but I don't know what negator she could be. It's my brain keeps thinking that she could potentially be Unluck. However, she can't because 1, Fuko currently has Unluck, and as far as we know, 2 people can't share a negation. 2, it's shown like when we see the past souls when Fuko's in the Festa Drilled, or I think it was next chapter when we saw the panel of all the previous Unlucks connect to each other, and the one before Fuko was the young child, it never showed Kaide. But I don't know, this feels like a self-targeting Unlock. She's, you know, very nice and kind towards people. She's liking the customers, so she's fallen over and causing an Unlock onto them by having the Unlock target her. And the same with Fuko's dad here. He manages to dodge one, dodge two, but then still gets hit. And the way he describes it here was it a threefold strike. Fuko, I think, explains it very similar when she hits Andy with the combo strike Unlock of being like a twofold or something like that. But there's something about Kaide. I think she might be a negator, and my brain's saying she could be a self-targeting Unlock. But it doesn't make sense because Fuko has it, and they shouldn't be able to be two of the same negations. I think, unless there's some bullshit going on with Fuko being the first person to loop, because Fuko is the first person to have looped other than Therese. When Therese was looping, she was the first person and only person to have Unjustice. However, Fuko was not the first and only person to have Unlock. It got passed down through a line of people down to Fuko, and this is the first time that someone who has had a negation pass on to them. So there is a chance that Kaide has Unlock. If Kaide does have Unlock, then that very well could mean that in Chapter 1, when we saw the plane exploding, it wasn't Fuko that killed Kaide. It was Kaide that killed herself and everyone on board with her Unlock when she said bye to Fuko and then passed it on to her. And if that's the case, then it might lead to her dying from her own Unlock again when she realizes Fuko is her daughter from the past future, or maybe just future. We'll get onto that. No, because that kind of makes sense. This is a calm and relaxing chapter, Tasuka. Why is my brain hurting like this? Why have you fucking... Oh, okay. I don't get Kaide. I like Kaide, okay? She's cute, she's adorable. I like that she's just exactly like Fuko, but bigger and older. She's amazing. But God fucking damn it. I'm putting my money that she's a negator. I'm putting my money on that. And the logic seems sound for her being self-targeting Unlock. And then you can even explain that the reason that she didn't appear in the Soul Vestige World is because she's currently alive. So that her Vestige wouldn't... That Soul Vestige World, souls are kept in a subspace when they're not needed in the world anymore. So if Kaide is an Unlock, she could still have Unlock. And while she's alive, her soul wouldn't be in that Vestige World, as that Vestige World where Fuko transferred to could be that subspace where souls are kept. That's why Kaide isn't there, and that's why she wasn't on the roadmap, because it was Fuko's mental image of a roadmap, and she did. Holy fuck, I think Kaide might be Unlock. She might be Unlock. I think this getting Kurusu in this arc of Unchased, this is going to be Fuko healing from the fact that it wasn't her that killed her parents. I don't know how I feel about the idea of the tragedy of the plane not being Fuko's Unlock, but being Kaide's Unlock. However, it lines up. It lines up. Kaide's soul wasn't in the Vestige World because she's alive, and that Vestige World is accessing the subspace where souls are kept between loops and when they're alive. The reason she wasn't on the roadmap of previous Unlocks is because it was Fuko's image of the Unlock, and she didn't know her mum had it, so she didn't picture her there. Similar to when we saw Andy on the camel, it was Fuko's interpretation of what Andy was currently doing, when in actuality, motherfucker was sat on the sun. This klutziness, that just seems to guarantee to hit no matter what. And the way that her soon-to-be husband, Fuko's father, the fact that he was able to predict it and dodge it, similar to how back in the Autumn arc, Andy was able to predict how Fuko's Unlocked affected Ash and I can't remember the other guy, I always forget his name, but he was able to actually predict how Unlock would strike them too, because he knew Fuko so well. Fuko's dad knows Kaide so well, so he's able to predict how the Unlock is going to strike, even though it's guaranteed to hit. Fuck it, I'm putting my money on it. Kaide is Unlock. I think it's going to be revealed that Kaide's the previous Unlock user to Fuko, and she passes it on to Fuko, because we know negations can be passed down through a family. I mean, the Ishin family, literally every single Unbreakable ever gets passed down through that family, and Kaide could have passed it on to Fuko. Fuck, I'm cooking here. I think Kaide might be Unlock. I think she might be the previous Unluck user, and I think it's going to be revealed that the tragedy that happened to Fuko when she was young was Kaide's Unluck. Moving on from that, because I don't want to think about that anymore, we have the ending point of the chapter in what seems to be the crux as to them joining the Idol Festival. Other than Kurusu, it's because we've got a Back to the Future going on. Kaide and Fuko's dad, while they knew each other before then, and Kaide gave him the tickets to the festival, they fell in love at the festival, as it was revealed in this flashback to when Baby Fuko in the Pan Panda costume, which I've only just realised that's adorable, speaking to her parents. Yeah, they went to an idol festival together because Fuko's dad wanted to see his favourite girl sing, obviously that being Kaide, and that's where they fell in love. But because she can't get there because of seems to be her unluck, making her band members into having accidents and whatnot. Because Kaide's band has to pull out and she doesn't currently have a band, Fuko is fading away. We'll get to that. And they have to get a band together, and we're going to have a union idol band. I don't think we're going to have everyone in union. I think it's only going to be a select couple of people. I don't know who though. As for Fuko fading away, what do you mean Fuko's fading away? Sean himself pointed out in this chapter on page 13 paradoxes and that kind of stuff that applies to time travel. This is not time travel. Some people do think it's time travel. I've talked about this before, but this is not time travel. This is only a forward progression in time, and this is just the road being remade. So the 2020 that Fuko is from is in the past. Despite this taking place in 2015-2016, the 2020 Fuko is from is in the past because it is not time travel, it is only progressing forward in time. If it was time travel and going back in time every single time, first of all, it wouldn't have been shown as the roadblock being rebuilt and advancing forward in time. It would have just been shown it regress in time. That, and also Undead wouldn't have allowed Victor to travel Juiz every single time because he wouldn't be dying. He would just be going backwards in time and technically having unlived his... It's not time travel. It's only forward progression in time. So why is Fuko fading away? Some people have concocted it to like the canon events kind of thing that we've seen in Across Spider-Verse. This could be some variation on that. Potentially, maybe time paradoxes still fucking work. This right here is not contradicting anything Tezuka has laid out. It seems confusing because we know for a fact this is not time travel, it is forward progression in time and the road just repeating specific events and looping. So it could still fall under time paradoxes if that's how Tezuka wants this loop system to work. However, we're going to get an explanation from it. We need one for fuck's sake. I do not get why Fuko's fading away. This was a chill chapter. This was a chill, calmed chapter, and then Tezuka decided to fucking just give me a stressed out time anyway. I really loved this chapter. It was really fun. It was great getting to see Kaide. I don't like the red flags Tezuka's putting up with her potentially dying and the seemingly setup for her potentially being a self-targeting unluck. That might just be me cooking a bit too much, but I am looking forward to this arc. This seems like it's going to be an amazing arc, like I said last week. I can't wait to see more interactions with Kaide. I can't wait to finally see Kururu, because we haven't met Kurusu? Sadako. We still haven't seen Sadako since... I mean, we saw last chapter of like the We Need to Recruit Her, but we haven't seen Sadako yet. And while I'm loving this Fuko's mother kind of stuff going on, I hope Sadako still gets a good focus in this arc, and I hope, honestly, I do hope she ends up being a bit of either the main focus or a main focus alongside with Kaide. But I don't want Sadako to get overshadowed by Fuko's mother and all of this stuff, because this is supposed to be her arc, and I do want her to get the justice done to her that she's deserved, because she kind of got fuck all last loop. Like, she wasn't even there for the final fight with God. She was fucked off somewhere else. So I do hope she gets the justice done to her that she deserves and gets the spotlight in this arc and gets some great character development and spotlight on her. So I'm loving this Fuko's mum stuff. I fear that it may overshadow Sadako. And while I do have that fear, I do have trust in Tezuka to be able to give her the spotlight that she deserves. As for the union backing band we're going to get, I do think that color page might be a bit of a say on who we're going to get. I do think 100% we're getting Teller. Without a doubt, we are getting Teller into. It just seems too obvious. He was the singer slash musician of Billy's mercenary group, Horizon, Last Horizon. I can't remember the name exactly, but it's Horizon. So I do think we're getting Teller as part of the group. Who else are we gonna get? I want Yusai. We got some Yusai crumbs this chapter. Please, more Yusai. Please, more Yusai. Give me more Yusai. I beg. Honestly, bottom losses, we could get all of the Union, which if we do, that would be funny. But I think Teller is going to be one of the more main focuses of this arc. Cause Teller, he's got connections to music with past singing abilities. So I do think Teller will be one of the more main focuses. I think Gina, because right hand woman, and also Gina's into this girly pop kind of stuff. As to who else we could get, I'm not sure. My money's on Teller and Gina for the people who get more of a spotlight in this arc in terms of Union members. But as for the rest of the band, I don't know. I think it'll be an even mix of the guys and the gals. Either way, I'm just looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun. But Tasugo, I swear to fucking God, man, you've got me paranoid for this arc. Oh man, I'm gonna hate reading this arc because I'm just worried about Fuko's mother. But hey, fuck it, read ball, I guess. We're just gonna have to see where this is gonna go. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and put in the comments what you think about my predictions on Kaide potentially dying, self-targeting Unluck, anything I've said. Discuss it down in the comments. I'll try and reply if YouTube actually gives me notifications for it. But until next week, see ya.